line on that one.
Thank you very much.
My name is Sosten Pinganjira from Ntanda Times. On the issue of the slips as well as IDs being tried to access the social fair programs, I just wanted to know if Chisankho made efforts to engage the political parties, if they can stop this, or you are aid to engage the political parties, because from the first phase, seems the issue is increasing. And the second question is on the recommendations. Seems some of the recommendations which were made in the first phase, especially to make, were not addressed. And you have other recommendations to make as well. So third phase has just begun yesterday. As Chisankho, have you put any strategies in place that can address or put into consideration the recommendations you have made to them, so that the third phase of the registration exercise should have less challenges? Thank you so much.
Azima kwambiri, dzina langa ndi Ishmael Maridadi, ndifunsa mchichewa kuti mwina ena amene akutimvera ndi kuoneranso amve nawo. Mwafotokozapo zinthu ngapo zimene zakhala ngati mwina zosayenda bwino. Mwatchulapo kuti mafumu anayitanidwa ndi akuluakulu a boma kuti apange identify anthu amene alembetsa kuti nawonso apinduleko mu zina zimene mwayika ngati voter bribery. Komanso mwafotokoza kuti pakupitirirabe ngati ma centers 140 amene anachedwa kulembetsa chifukwa cha system ya NRB software installation. Komanso mwatchulapo kesi ya kubangwe kuti anthu anapeza kuti alembetsa koma mu system ya NRB sakupanga appear. Mavuto awawa ndiodetsa nkhawa. Sindiri kudziwa kuti chenicheni chimene muchitepo ndi chani. Phase 2 nanga siyatha tikupita nokumwina kaya ku phase ina kapena timina kumbuye kujasi kumina kunaliso mavuto amene wawa tidzipitirirabe chonchi kapena titani. Zino kwambiri.
Mwina tiyambe ndi funso limene mwalifunsa mchichewa ndisadapatse abale anga wakuti ayankhepo. Ndizoona kunena kuti tachita observe zinthu zingapo monga mwa mafunso anu zokhudzana ndi mafumu ndi zinthu zina zimene talankhula. Ndi funso lanu lakuti kodi tipitirirabe tere mmwemu kumapitirira kumafezi ena. Monga mmene dzina lathu lilili Chisankho kwathu ndikuchita observe. Tikachita observe tikaona zimene zikukhala bwino nkulimbikitsa kuti zimenezi zipitirire. Anthu amene ayenera kuchita zimenezo kwalimbikitsa monga talankhulira kuti awa apange mbali iyi awa apange mbali iyi. Pambali ngati ya zinthu zimene sizikuyenda bwino talankhula ku nduna kwa iwo ochita za mathandizo amtukula pakhomo ndi zina zoterozo kuti asapange zimenezi kumadera kumene kuli kalembera, chifukwa zimenezo zioneka kuti ndikatangale ndithu. Ndiye tapempha kwa iwo amene amayang'anira ngati za zipani kuti aonetsetse kuti pakhale kalondolondo wakatsatidwe kamalamulo azisankho. Kutereku nkunena kuti chisankho kuti chikhale chovomerezeka si zokhazokhazo zimene zachitika tsiku lovota. Anthu kuvomereza chisankho amavomereza zinthu ngati zimene tikuzifotokoza apazi zikakonzedwa. Ndiye ndi udindo wa iwo amene tikuwauza kuti akonze zinthuzi tisadapitirire kuti zinthu zimene zazikonze ndi cholinga chakuti process yoyendetsa chisankho iyende bwino mokomera mbali zonse zokhudzidwa. Amalawi onse aone kuti zinthu zikuyenda bwino, zipani zonse zione kuti zinthu zikukhala bwino, kuti pamapeto pake pamene anthu akaponya voti akazidziwe kuti ndondomeko yonse yakalembera idayenda bwino mokomera munthu aliyense. Koma ngati mavuto amene wasakonzedwa ndiwo amene tapempha kuti akonze mbali yawo, ndiye kuti chisankho chimene chikubwerachi chidzakhala chisankho chosavomerezeka, chisankho chimene anthu ena akhoza kupita nacho kubwalo la milandu kuti sichinali chachilungamo, sichitali choyenda bwino. Ndi kwathu ndikuchita observe kuona komanso kuzifotokoza zinthu zija kuti zikonzedwe. So kulankhulaku kupereka ripoti kalembera akuchitikamu nkunena kuti zinthu zimene tikuzilankhulazo azikonze oyenera kuti azikonzewo, tikuzibweretsa poyera ndi kufotokozera maumboni ndi kumene zidachitika zinthuzo, kuti iwo amene adapatsidwa mphamvu yakukonza zimenezi azikonze kuti kutsogolo zinthu zikhale bwino. Ndiye imekayi pamenepo kuti anzanga aone mafunso ena amene anafunsidwa.
All right. Just to continue from what the chair has actually indicated, the other three questions, because he was responding to the question from Mr. Malidadi, but he has managed also to highlight or provide some responses to the other three questions, because the other three questions, they are to do with what action are we going to take as Chisankho to address some of the challenges that our press statement here has actually highlighted. So, for example, Joseph asked about the strong calls that are growing out there as regards to how the second phase has actually transpired, and there are a lot of discomforts amongst the members of the public, and perhaps if that could be redone altogether. So it's exactly what the chair has said, that our role is to provide the results of what our monitors were able to observe, our observers rather, were able to actually take note during the exercise and be able to make sure that those particular findings are made public. And then those that are responsible for an action on the same should be able to do that. So the same also applies to Sostin. You're asking about efforts that we are making in engaging political parties, especially on the issue of social protection tools that are being tied to voter registration. Yeah, our press statement has also actually mentioned the right officers that are supposed to take an action on the same to ensure that we decouple the social protection provisions to the citizenry and tying it to the issue of voter registration. I think also the same goes to the question to do with our recommendations to make. Yes, during our first report, we had actually highlighted a lot of recommendations to make, to put into consideration. Yes, they have made an improvement on some, and we understand that there are still some other gaps which they are going to improve. That's why even our press statement here, we are calling it improved voter education, but there's been low citizen participation. So we are able to understand that there's been an improvement, for example, in voter education, simply because even our first press statement had also to highlight that particular gap. Yeah, so we are believing that through the presence of different media houses that are here, this message is actually passing across to all the relevant stakeholders that are responsible for taking necessary action based on what our findings are actually highlighting. Maybe Stella, you have an addition?
Yes, maybe just one point. Going back to the calls for second phase, if it can, we can do it again. If we followed from the first phase also had its own issues. And second phase is also having its own issues. And our statement is giving recommendations to different stakeholders on what they're supposed to do. As the chair has already said, we are there at Chisankho watching what is happening, giving a report and giving recommendations. If you can go to the report, you also see that one of the challenges that we have is issues to do with registration rate. is going down. If you see the first phase, the average was 105. This time around, the average is 99. And as stakeholders, both civil society and political parties, we should be asking ourselves, why are the numbers going down from phase 1 to phase 2? What will come out of phase 3? And what is our role to make sure that the numbers are going up? And some of the factors contributing to this are those issues that have been highlighted in the report, to say maybe disinformation, misinformation about the voter registration, and now people are saying, no, I don't have to go and register. But we have to work on this, because as political parties, as key stakeholders, they would still want their voters to vote for them. How are they going to vote for them if they didn't register? So those are some of the recommendations that our stakeholders, mainly the political parties, they have to address. So hence the recommendations that we're giving. But if it is a call to repeat the second phase, what about first phase? First phase also had issues. If we repeat one phase, what will those who didn't register in first phase going to say, specifically in the districts where they didn't register? Remember the issue from first phase in Kasangamala, in Ikaronga, where the whole community denied to register just because their center was appearing to be in a different constituency. So if we repeat the second phase, what about first phase? So the stakeholders, make NRB and other key stakeholders, they have to look into it together to say all the phases are having issues. So how do we address these issues to make sure that all eligible voters who are supposed to register are registered and are able to vote come September 16, 2025?
Yeah, just to conclude that all the stakeholders in this regard would need to determine the way forward as they dialogue amongst themselves. We have made the recommendations, but whether the extension has to be made in any of the centers or regions or areas, that should be determined by the Commission based on the cause made to it, also the reasons given. We have elaborated reasons why we believe certain things were not done correctly and why probably they need to improve. But if we are registering fewer people every time, then we have a challenge that and all the stakeholders must sit down and really determine, are these the numbers that they would want to see going into September 2025, going to vote? How is that going to affect the overall results of the elections? It is important that MEC considers seriously the calls that stakeholders are making. NRB considers the recommendations we're making, because if eligible voters are not being registered because of whatever reason, then we have a big challenge as far as the elections are concerned. Our responsibility is to watch and to flag out the issues that are coming out openly from these observation reports. Ours is to provide the information that is verified, that is accurate, and if MEC would want to find out how true that is, then they can actually consult us so that they can make their decisions based on accurate information, verified information that is necessary for them to determine whether they need to extend the registration period in these other areas or not.
Thank you very much for the questions and answers. They are being taken notes. Like they have said, they'll be presented to MEC. We will take another round of questions, please. Are there any more questions? Thank you very much. We have come to an end of our press statement that is presented to you by Chisankho Watch. I will give a brief about Chisankho Watch once more. Chisankho Watch is an independent, non-partisan consortium that is there to observe the ongoing 2025 elections. Chisankho Watch will start or is observing from the start of the voter registration phase up until the last vote count of the 2025 general elections. Thank you very much for coming and also for watching us live on Times and Lunta TV. We will see you again for the third press statement that will cover the third phase of voter registration. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Just one more. We have a comment. Thank you.
Ndiye pamapeto pa
it's not a
mwambo
comment, but
omwe
because
kumachitika kuno ku Crossroads mu mzinda wa Lilongwe, mkumano umenewu pansi pa ndondomeko ya Chisankho Watch. Cholinga chake kunali kungofotokozapo zinthu zomwe apanga observe pomwe dziko lino tikuyembekezera chisankho chaka chamawa. Mkumano wa mabungwewa ndi Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace CCJP, Gender and Justice Unit, komanso MHAB, sayiwalanso Public Affairs Committee Park. Dzina langa ndi Blessings Mpenga njira changata tikubwerezeretseni ku nyumba yathu yolutsira mawu mu mzinda wa Blantyre.